As I said in my video with the Razer Blade Pro 17, now is the time for big, beefy laptops to shine. Because for most of us sheltering in place, our travel is limited to hopping from room to room, or sometimes chair to chair. Now, the 15-inch Surface Book 3 isn't a desktop replacement like that Razer Blade, but it is the only computer of its kind that becomes a tablet on demand. All right, so comparing the Surface Book 3 to a 2-year-old Book 2, Microsoft didn't change the design language at all. And while that really bums me out, it's important to understand why. The long and short of it, or maybe the thin and light of it, is this. Like the Starship Enterprise D, the Surface Book needs to be able to function in both docked and separated modes. So Microsoft can't meaningfully change this design because all the critical guts needed to run a full PC still need to live in this thin top half. Microsoft calls it a clipboard. To refresh your memory, that's the motherboard, SSD, the RAM, some of the battery, and the processor, which is a 15-watt Intel Core i7 made for Ultrabooks. Why not one of the big 45-watt processors in the H series? Well, as Daniel Rubino explains in a piece at Windows Central, there's just no more room, thermally speaking, to put in a higher power CPU. The most Microsoft can do is run this 15-watt chip at 25 watts, which it can and does when necessary. The base has also gotten a spec bump in the form of a new graphics processor. When you dock that clipboard into the base, it can use that more powerful GPU for more intense graphics tasks. On my review sample from Microsoft here, it's an NVIDIA GeForce 1660 Ti. Now that's more spec talk than I usually get into in my videos, so let me jump back to the real world for a second and say this. For a user like me, whose biggest hacks on the system is probably going to be World of Warships or too many Chrome tabs, I'm more than happy to trade raw power for versatility, specifically that of having a laptop when I need it and a tablet when I want it. Here's how that works. You push the eject button, the system thinks about it for a second, and bam, the clipboard unlocks so you can leave the base behind. The special hinge that makes this possible is another reason the design couldn't be changed, and while I continue to love the look, it still carries drawbacks. Just like its predecessors, the Book 3 is thicker than comparably sized laptops. Also, while Microsoft has made it faster to pop off the clipboard, the identical hinge also means we're likely to see anomalies as these machines age, as we've seen a lot of with Book 1 and 2 over the years. Even on this brand new Book 3, I've already had a few hiccups. I know Daniel Rubino's review sample has too. And there's also a curious temporary issue that pops up if you detach while playing sound. The Surface Book 2 launched back in November. That's over and above the speakers just being tinny and not very loud in general. Back on the spec sheet, there's better news. Wi-Fi 6 comes courtesy of a new Intel adapter, which should be a lot faster and more reliable than the experience provided by the Marvel adapter in the older model. The keyboard is exactly the same, but that's a win. Full travel with a nice soft bottom out, not insubstantial with the feedback, but not aggressively noisy either. Just chef's kiss. And Bluetooth 5 replaces the older 4.1, which makes it a little easier to set up headphones, and an app that wasn't around the last time I used a Surface Book, the aptly named My Phone. Your phone. Yeah, your phone.
Name. My name?
No, my name.
I do not know your name.
You need Android to get the most out of it. On Samsung phones, you just go into the settings and search for Link to Windows, while on other Androids, you'll download the free app. Setup takes about a minute and a half, and after that, any notification that comes in on your phone will be duplicated on your screen. You can see those notifications either in the Windows Notification Center or inside the app, which gives you access to your phone's photo gallery too. That means you can quickly save pictures right from the app. No more emailing them to yourself, as Microsoft says. And yes, you can also make phone calls from the computer over Bluetooth. People said I sounded good over that Bluetooth connection, not great. The comparison I heard was that it was like one of those conference call devices in like a boardroom, big old speakerphone, you know. But a lot of that is probably down to the room you're in. As for on-device audio, well, you're listening to the microphone array right now, and you're seeing the webcam pick up. Still the same webcam, maxes out at 1080p, which actually, in 2020, a year when people are still somehow shipping laptops with 720p cameras, it's pretty good. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. And finally, you can mirror your whole device so you can control everything on your phone with a mouse and pointer from the PC. This is useful for certain apps that don't have Windows or web equivalents, or maybe you want to drag and drop a file from your computer to your phone, or vice versa. There were a couple little hinky bits. Both David and Mel and I ran into the same update loop on initial setup, which was frustrating.
Launch. Oh, there's a new version. Oh, update. Okay. Oh, well, it's installed already. Okay, launch it. Oh, there's a new version. I should update that. Oh, it's already installed. All right, well, I'll launch it then. Ah, but there's a new version. Let me update it. Hey, it's already installed. Let me launch it. Oh, an update? I better do that. You starting to understand why this is frustrating?
And when you bring it back into the foreground, it'll often take a second to resync with your phone. But these are pretty minor complaints in what's otherwise a very cool experience. I used it with the Galaxy Fold, which I expected would throw it a curveball because, two screens. But no, dynamic switching between inside and outside screens on the fly, no hassles. Nice work. The other significant optimization on the Book 3 is battery life. While the batteries themselves are exactly the same, the use of a more efficient 10nm CPU, in concert with LPDDR4X RAM, gave this machine about 1.5 hours more uptime per charge than its predecessor, according to PC Mark tests run by Windows Central. My own benchmarking gave me less impressive scores, mainly because I had to keep this machine at full brightness basically all the time. I mean, this is a beautiful display, but it just doesn't get bright enough in a room with a lot of natural light, and you could forget about working outside. It's great to see Microsoft continue to offer all the good things from prior designs, like a USB-C port and an SD card reader, but I think everyone's pretty much in agreement that this is the last time the company can reuse this exact same CMF and industrial design. Let me stop a few tweets here. I've said the same about Apple devices recently, so you can go watch those videos of mine. And you can actually use the same solution to making the Surface Book less boring with my sponsor, dbrand. You probably already know they're the best device skins in the world, but I bet you didn't know just how sporty a bulletproof banana makeover can look on a machine like this. Of course, there are more conservative options as well for the less ostentatious among us, but to see which one is right for you, head over to dbrand at this link to skin your own Surface, PC, MacBook, console, phone, pretty much whatever you got. Oh, and while we're talking about other stuff, this isn't sponsored, but it's cool. I've been using the Moft Z as a standing desk with the Surface Book 2, and it's awesome. It folds flat when you don't need it, but stands really surprisingly firm when you do. This was a free sample from Moft. I'm testing it out for them, and if you're interested, I will link this in the description as well. So at the end of the day, I'm pretty meh on this update, still pretty bored by the straight-up reuse of the same design. But when you have something special, a PC that really is one of a kind, you can go back to the well a few more times than others might be able to get away with. And after my last look at a Halo laptop got us close to the $4,000 mark, this configuration's $2,800 tag is a bit more palatable. A bit. Just make sure, and I mean this, that you're really gonna make use of the detachable clipboard before you pull the trigger. Like Android on a tablet, Windows on a tablet is an acquired taste, and there's no question that some people would be better served spending the same amount of money for a less powerful laptop and an iPad alongside it. Folks, it took me 2 full-length videos to cover the last Surface Book, so if you've never seen this machine before, I'll happily direct you to those, as well as Windows Central for a comprehensive Surface Book 3 review. Please subscribe to the MrMobile on YouTube for my continuing coverage on folding phones, nostalgic mobile devices of days gone by, and smartwatches and laptops and anything else that stands out. Disclosure, this video was produced after 48 hours with a Microsoft Surface Book 3 review sample provided by Microsoft, but MrMobile does not produce paid reviews. No compensation changed hands in the course of producing this coverage, and Microsoft did not receive copy approval or an early preview of this content. That means they're seeing it for the first time right alongside you. Until next time, thanks for watching. Stay safe at home for now if you can, but in spirit, stay mobile, my friends.